The mind should not waver anywhere. Focus on the breath and relax your physical body. And when you integrate all these aspects, you will see the mind gets quietened automatically. Now do this a few times. Now, with a quietened mind, one should do nididhyasanam. The upasana or dhyanam done after studying Vedanta Shastras is called nididhyasanam, where one recollects the key Upanishad mantras that point to the Brahma Tattvam. The mantras advice is very clear. Here the mantra says, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma Tat Jalaniti Shanta Upasita. Shanta Upasita, with a quietened mind. Do Upasana, Nididhyasanam on Brahma, on Brahman, as what? Sarvam Khalvidam. Verily, everything around us, that principle that permeates the entire universe, Brahma Tattvam, is the only absolute reality. And from this absolute reality, which is the nature of absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute bliss, from this absolute reality emerges the relatively real universe. Got only Vyavaharika Satyam. Only for Vyavahar, transactional reality, relative reality. So one should not pay too much importance and own up to what is happening around us. Instead, understand that this universe, that is a relative reality, emerges from the absolute reality, will be sustained for some period of time and then once again dissolve, will go into extinction. So, constant focus should be to have the thought of Brahman, Brahmatattvam in the mind. And since Brahman is infinite, vast, difficult to focus the mind on that, Upanishad mantra point out that the same Brahmatattvam, Satchidananda Swarupam, is also your own true nature. It is now called as Atman. And to understand this Atman, Brahman is the focus of any spiritual aspirant, key goal of one's life. So here the Upanishad mantra points out, Ashariram Sharireshu Anavasthveshvavasthitam Mahantam Vibhumatmanam Matva Dhiro Na Shochati. Sharireshu Ashariram. Within this physical body, Sharireshu, in the Shariram, there is a principle which is different from the matter principle, different from matter, pure consciousness, which is called now Ashariram, because it doesn't have the qualities of Sharira or the body. So Ashariram, Sharireshu, within the physical body, there is this absolute consciousness principle, and it doesn't get affected by any of the factors affecting the physical body. Now understand, this Atman is my nature. So more and more you own up to this Atma Tattvam, which is your true nature, you will be unaffected by your physical body, changes of the physical body and all the impressions that happen there. Anavasthveshvavasthitam. Similarly, it is present in all the three states of experience, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking, dream, and deep sleep. In fact, it is the enabler of the three states of mind and the physical body, but totally unaffected by impressions on the mind. So, whatever happens to the mind, whether it be joy, sorrow, depression, anxiety, pressure, nothing will affect Atma Tattvam. Once you understand that you are that Atman, you will be unaffected by anything happening to the mind. That's why Tam Mahan, that's why it's the most glorious principle, greatest principle, Vibhum, that which you are studying now, Vibhuti, the greatness of this principle being unaffected by anything that happens with the physical body, the mind, sense organs, or intellect. Where is it? Atmanam. This Atman has to be what? Your own true nature has to be Matva, understood. So, and once you understand, internalize, transform with the constant impression in the mind, thought in the mind that I am the Atman, I am not the physical body or the sense organs, mind, intellect. I'll be unaffected by anything happening to myself or the surroundings or the world. What happens? Dhiraha na shochati. This spiritual aspirant goes beyond all sorrows, attains supreme bliss, which is moksham and immortality. So, knowledge of absolute reality bestows immortality. And what is this absolute reality, which is not different from the supreme reality, Brahmatattvam? We'll understand further on the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighnam Kuru Medeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Shaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurte Namaha. Tadashiva Samarambham Shankara Acharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryanta Mande Guru Paramparam श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतं वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः पारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्महम् ॐ all of you chant Em Brahma loudly on cameras. Em Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Dimyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadair Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Nabidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha देवाय तस्मै नमः ओम श्री कृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः. Now chant these 6 shlokas focused on Jnanam. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswati Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Teshamevanukampartham Aham Ajnanajam Tamaha नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थः ध्यानदीपेन भास्वता ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितं न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः येषामादित्यवज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परं यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Now chant this 5 important shlokas and remember them as much as possible. Switch on cameras and chant this sincerely. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ejana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहं मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशेऽर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया. So, what is the ultimate reality? Prapancho yadi vidyeta nivarteta na samshayah maya matramidam dvaitam advaitam paramarthatah. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Atha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Dashamodhyaya Saramshaha Vibhuti yogaha. Om Narayana Parom Vyaktat Andamam Vyakta Sambhavam Andasyantasvi me lokaha Saptadvipacha Medini. Om. Now, let us chant shloka number 8, 9 and 10. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattas sarvam pravartate इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् उधा भाव समन्विताः मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते ओम शांति 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 Ardham Swagatam, hearty welcome to the next session on the summary of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. What is the 10th chapter? Known as Vibhuti yogaha. And in this chapter, in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan is explaining that there are various manifestations of the Supreme which are very special, which I will point out. In fact, what is the real knowledge? Entire universe is an effect, and the Supreme is the causeless cause. And so the effect cannot be different from the cause. The cause permeates the effect. So Ishvara Tattvam permeates everything, but this supreme truth is the Upanishad truth, difficult to understand. So Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita is pointing out only those special manifestations so that we can first focus on that, then the mind becomes purer and then more sharp and focused, then you can move towards the ultimate reality. So one has to understand that the Supreme permeates the entire universe. That is the glory of the Supreme. Vibhuti yogaha. Given a lot of references in the last class. You have time during the holidays. Look at those and fortify your understanding. One has to be very clear that from the absolute standpoint, that is pure consciousness, the Supreme permeates the entire universe. And also, as the fundamental matter principle, it manifests as the grossified entity. So, without Bhagavan, there is nothing. Without the Supreme, nothing can exist. That's why Bhagavan has told, Mattah parataram nanyate kinchidasti dhananjaya. So, Shloka number 8, Bhagavan is reiterating, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. So, I am the source of everything. Fundamentally, to negate that there can be some other material principle which can be the source of all matter. Bhagavan says, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Prabhava means source. And sarvasya of everything. Aham. Ahameva you can put in bracket. So I am the only source of every entity, and sarvam pravartate mattaha. From me everything proceeds. So this understanding of the Supreme that pervades the entire universe. Iti matva. So knowing thus, what? Buddhaha, wise one. The way jnanam is important. This is jnanam. Cannot show Bhagavan, Bhagavan, Bhagavan. Somebody says, I am seeing Krishna, 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 Krishna everywhere. Then what? What is the problem? Ask the person to go and do eye test. You cannot see Krishna, Krishna everywhere. You can only understand Bhagavan through study of the Vedanta Shastras, Bhagavan's presence everywhere. And so these wise ones, Buddhaha, endowed with devotion, bhajante mam. This is a kind of worship called Vishwarupa Upasana. See, I told you, in the beginning, we do what? Eka Rupa Upasana. That means what? Take one God with idol and try to do worship. Aneka Rupa, you got in the puja room many, many deities. That is the beginning. But as you understand the Upanishads, the Vedanta Shastras, the ultimate truth, you know that the Supreme pervades the entire. So you move to Vishwarupa Upasana. And so, by focusing on this knowledge, Parasparam Bodhayantaha, constant study of Vedanta Shastras, they take delight and are contented. So now what happens? No longer the initial religious practices are, one doesn't restrict to all these initial practices, only, Nama Sankirtana, this puja, Parayana and all those things. Now the focus shifts to understanding this doubtlessly the knowledge of the absolute truth. That is the next focus. So, tesham satata yuktanam. So, they are constantly engaged, steadfast, not just what? Once in a way, not just no, when things are fine, I'll study Vedanta, when things are no challenging, no, tyagam, do tyagama Vedanta. So, understand that Vedantic study should be continued, steadfast, bhajatam. Here, bhajatam, worshipping is not what? Parayana puja, study of Vedanta Shastras to get doubtless knowledge, crystal clear clarity, preeti purvakam, with devotion. That is why, sir, you are saying something that is not mentioned here. You are saying jnanam, jnanam, jnanam. But Bhagavan is saying bhajatam, bhajatam. Bhajatam means should I not do bhajana? So Bhagavan is saying tam buddhi yogam. Underline that word. Very important. So who is focused? If you do bhajana, you will not get buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means what? Jnanam. Write down buddhi yogam is equal to Vedanta Shastra Jnanam. Aham Brahmasmi Jnanam. Ayamatma Brahma Jnanam. Tattvamasi Jnanam. Understand? Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvamasi. Ayamatma Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. That Jnanam is what Bhagavan says he will give. So please understand. So this has been clearly understood. Whatever Vibhuti yogaha, Bhagavan is talking about bhajatam, worshipping everything is not Nama Sankirtana, Harikatha, no Parayanam and all. It is systematic study of Vedanta Shastras. And once you undertake this for a period of time, Bhagavan says, I myself dadami. I will give what? Tam buddhi yogam. That yoga of knowledge. Understand now? This is jnana yoga. This is not anything else. And now very important. Yena te upayanti mam. So only by jnanam, Bhagavan says, they can reach me, by which they will reach me. You know, understand the process? Initial steps are fine. But as you advance in the spiritual path, study of Vedanta Shastras, understanding the ultimate truth, Satchidananda Swarupam as my own true nature, is what will enable you reach Bhagavan. Reaching Bhagavan is what? You need to take a trip to what? Vaikuntham, Kailasam. Where should you go? Don't need to go anywhere. Your mind has to travel inward and what? Remove all the wrong understanding. Simple. Just remove this ignorance, fundamental ignorance of identification with physical body, sense organ, mind, and all the things happening around me, and getting into alternate joy and sorrow, tension, pressure, depression, anxiety, all these things. No need, because nothing actually is connected with me. They're all nothing but a superimposition. It's called adhyasam. So while listening to Gita, Upanishad looks very simple, yes or no? When it happens in our daily lives, it's so easy. Is it easy? It's not easy. That is why constantly you should come back and study at least 1 hour every day, if possible, at least 4 hours every week, which you are doing. Constant reiteration. Keep on reiterating. Then what happens? Slowly the ignorance will get erased and the truth will get entrenched. Today, what is happening? The ignorance, adhyasam, is so strongly impressed in our mind. Yes or no? Whatever we say, sir, you may say everything. I'm miserable, sir. Morning train, so many problems, so many issues, so many things I am undergoing. You are saying, no, you are epitome of bliss. Seeing no sign of that. Let's sit down, study, slowly remove and understand. See, apply certain principles of vivekam, analysis. And all this is wonderfully presented. That's why the Vedanta Shastras are there to help you systematically move forward. So Bhagavan now says, for all the initial, what? Puja, japa, dhyana, everything you have done earlier. and you entered Vedanta Shastra, I will now lift you, because the final uplifting is required by Bhagavan. Understand? Ishvaranugrahadeva Pumsam Advaita Vasana. This Advaita Jnanam finally will be bestowed only by grace of Ishvara. And so this shloka which we keep on chanting every class, where is it? 10.11. We'll chant that again. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Teshamevanukampartham Ahamajnanajam tamaha Nashayamyatmabhavastha Jnanadipena bhasvata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So now Bhagavan says, you have done all the initial sadhanas that are required, karma, karma yoga, upasana. Also what? Started studying Vedanta Shastras. So for a person dedicated to understanding the Supreme and also as one's own self, Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha. What happens? Bhagavan says, I have tremendous compassion for them. Out of compassion for them, Anukampartham eva. See, Anukampartham is one word. Sandhi Vibhaga is Anukampartham. It is not Partham. Don't separate Anukam and Partham. They are not to be separated like that. It's one word, Anukampartham. According to Sandhi Vibhaga, it is Anukampartham. Anukampa means compassion. And Artham means out of. Out of compassion only. Only out of compassion. Tesham. For these people who are dedicated. For them, what I will do? Aham. So Bhagavan is saying, I myself. Atma bhavastha. Atma here means the intellect. I told you earlier, Atma, depending on context, is to begin with, is me. Then Atma, then physical body, then the mind, then the intellect. And finally, when you are absolutely transformed into Jnanam, Atma becomes what? Atman Satchidananda Swarupam, pure consciousness, which is also me. Everything is me. I am also the body, I am also the mind, I am also sense organs, I am also intellect, I am also Atman. Depends on the level of your knowledge. Complete removal of ignorance will establish you in Atma Tattvam, pure consciousness. So Bhagavan says, Atma Bhavasthaha. Underline this, Atma here means intellect. Bhavastaha means remaining in. So, having entrenched myself, I will remain in the intellect of the individual. That means what? Bhagavan now is Jnana Swarupi. Write down. Not Krishna doesn't come and sit in the intellect. Don't think like that. So, when you understand Brahma Tattvam, Jnanam, you finally understand Jnanam is not different from Brahman. Jnanam, Jnani, Jneyam, Jnanam, Jneyam, Jnanagamyam. Hridi Sarvasya Vishtitam. That shloka, you go back and read the meaning again and again. Three look very different. Jnanam is knowledge. Name is what? What is to be known? Jnanagamyam, the process. And ultimately, what you know looks to be different. They're called Triputi, three different entities. But finally, an understanding of reality, the differentiation between the knower, the known, and means of knowing is totally erased. They all become one. And so, Jnanam is not different from Bhagavan. Understand now? Here, Atma Bhavastha means as Jnanam, that means what? Bhagavan as Jnanam. What he will do? Nashayami tamaha. I will destroy the tamaha, darkness. What? Confusion. All the wrong identification, misconceptions, superimpositions, which is born out of Ajnanam. Tamaha Ajnanajam. Very nice sloka. So he selected this sloka, first sloka, right? Ajnanajam. Jam means born out of Ajnanam. So understand the root cause of all problems is ignorance. From ignorance arises delusion. Then there is tamaha. Tamaha is what? Wrong understanding, misconceptions, wrong identification. Then, when you go through various things in life, so called sukham, dukkham, bhayam, abhayam, all that Bhagavan mentioned earlier, identification, all those things, sometimes happy, sometimes sorrowful, sometimes blank. That's why every time we're looking for something to become happy. After that comes, it goes away. Once again, we are seeking. That means what? When there is sukham, there will be dukkham. When there is dukkham, there will be sukham. This pair of opposites will continue as long as you are seeking so-called happiness from external world. The day you understand by systematic study Vedanta Shastras, by Bhagavan's grace, that what? This ignorance, the root cause of all problems, ignorance identification with things other than me. What is me? I am your consciousness, the nature of Ananda Swarupam, absolute bliss. So Bhagavan says, I will present myself. That means Jnanam will arise in the mind, and the darkness born of ignorance will be destroyed. How? Bhasvata Jnana Deepena, with the brilliant light of knowledge. So now connect Atma Bhavasthaha with Bhasvata Jnana Deepena. Small thing you carefully note. Atma Bhavasthaha is Mahapranam, Takharam, Tatha. Bhavastha is what? Alpa Pranam. Now you see, advanced students. Bhasvata is what? Brilliant light. Bhavasthaha, remaining. So the brilliant light will arise by the grace of Bhagavan, light of knowledge, jnanam. Jnanam utpadyate pumsam. So kshaya papasya karmanaha, Mahabharata. Bhishma Pitama says to Yudhishthira, jnanam will arise in the mind of a pure soul. That means what? Was gone beyond all the papa karmas. And so Bhagavan now will light the lamp of knowledge. The brilliant light of this brilliant light cannot be erased by anything. Acharya Shankara's Bhasham is very nice. This light protected by Vivekam, Vairagyam, Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, and Jnanam cannot be erased by the world. No longer this person will get deluded once this Jnanam is totally obtained in the mind and the person undergoes transformation. So the process has to be followed. Once you follow the process, it becomes very easy. The problem is once you come somewhere in between and jump, then it looks very challenging. Simple, do your daily routines properly. Focus on systematic study Vedanta Shastras. Even without your conscious understanding, you will have attained this knowledge. Are you not getting more confident compared to 2 years back? That, yes, we understand what is Jnanam. We have made progress towards that. May not have got 100%, but definitely in this life, we will attain Jnanam and Moksham. That confidence should be there. And so Bhagavan says, I will ensure that the sincere aspirant gets Jnana. Now you see, you got Bhagavan, you got Shastram, you got Guru, devotion to Guru, Shastram, Bhagavan. Continue this process and definitely you will attain the ultimate goal of Jnanam in this life. Now, having given the overall structure of the 10th chapter. So, Bhagavan said, I am everything, from me everything proceeds, nothing is different from me, cause, effect, everything understood now. And so, one should focus on the Supreme, which is all pervading. And this knowledge of Supreme as what? Not a physical entity, but Satu Chitta Ananda Swarupam. As my own true nature also bestows immortality. And so, you reach Bhagavan means what? You clearly understand that you are not different from Bhagavan. Now clearly now understand this. When Bhagavan says, you will reach me, ena te upayanti mam, means what? Reaching something is two ways, right? Going physically to one place and reaching that place. Another is understanding you are not different from that. Understanding jnanam that you are not different from Supreme is reaching Bhagavan. This is Jnanam, Jnana Margam. There is no physical travel. Also connect with 8th chapter. So who has got travel? Who doesn't have travel? No, you see, everything is coming in place, right? For a Jnani, is there any travel? What ticket has got? One-way ticket, return ticket, what ticket? Huh? Forgotten. No ticket, correct. Means no travel. So, for a Jnani, there is no travel. And Bhagavan says, Jnani will reach me. That means what? Are you getting clarity in what I'm saying? There is no travel, but you'll reach Bhagavan. That means what? Here and now, you understand that essentially, मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्तानि नाहम न च श्रोत्र जिह्वे न च घ्राण नेत्रे न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम. Lot of you chant this sloka, yes or no? Now you should understand the meaning and then focus on that. So the ultimate truth is reiterated many places again and again. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That is what is implied by saying that you will reach Bhagavan. Now, having understood this process, Arjuna says, you are saying as if it is like what? Easily taking on sweet and no gulab jamun eating. So simple. That's why you explained. It's not so easy. So what you do, Bhagavan, you first explain to us how to focus on you, on your various manifestations. We'll start the process systematically. 1, 2, 3. Arjuna says, you help us from there. Later, you can light the lamp of knowledge. So let's start from the beginning. So Arjuna is asking the explanation for Bhagavan's all-pervading nature. Shloka number 12. Shri Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adideva Majam Vibhum. And chant shloka number 13 also. Arjuna Vacha Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshir Naradastatha Asito Devalo Myasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishi Me. So, he is reiterating, Arjuna is reiterating what Bhagavan has told earlier. What is Bhagavan's initial declaration? You are the supreme. Bhagavan says, I am the supreme. So, Arjuna is saying, you are the supreme Brahman. You are greater than the greatest. You are the causeless cause. And all, you are the most supreme light, supremely holy. All the sages, all the divine sages, right down, Narada, Ashita, Devala, as well as Vyasa, who is a sage in Bhuloka. So they have explained about you, not as physical Krishna Paramatma, but as the self of all. So very important word. Write down, Purusham. Purusham here is what? The self. Atman Purusham Purushaye Vedagum Sarvam. That Purusham is all-pervading reality. It's also your own true nature, self of all, eternally divine. And Adi Devam, primary God, birthless, Ajam, all those things we understood earlier. And all-pervading Vibhum, all-pervading. So you're also telling the same. So now you're saying that all the great sages have explained, which you have also told from your own mouth. Now, Arjuna is further saying, Shloka number 14 and 15. Sarvametandrutam manye yanmam vadasi keshava nahite bhagavan yaktim vidurdevana danavaha vayamevatmanatmanam vedhatvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha deva deva jagatpate. So he says, I am agreeing to all these things. So what the sages have told, what you yourself have told, I am understanding. But to comprehend it is very difficult because neither the gods nor the demons, none can understand this greatness of yours, your manifestations. So, since you are the creator of all the beings, sustainer of all the beings, and praising God of all gods and the protector of the whole universe. You alone can know yourself by yourself. Only you can know about yourself. Clear? The effect cannot reveal the cause. Go back to what we discussed earlier. Effect can never reveal the cause in entirety. So the cause alone can explain about itself. So only Bhagavan can explain about himself. Supreme can explain about the true nature of Brahman. So what you should do? While the true nature of Bhagavan is called as what? Swarupa Lakshanam is a central theme to be understood through the study of Upanishads and Vedanta Shastras. There is another aspect which is a manifestation of the Supreme. It is more comprehensible or understanding from the known manifestations. The unknown Brahma Tattvam is the process. So Arjuna is saying, Loka number 16. Arjuna Vacha Vaktumarhasya Sheshena Divyahyatma Vibhutayaha Yabhir Vibhutibhir Lokan Imam Stum Vyapya Tishtasi. Now, Loka number 16 is the primary question of Arjuna, based on which you are getting the expansion of the Vibhuti yogaha. Now he says, now, since only you can explain about yourself, you're actually Bhagavan, has he explained about himself or not, about Supreme or not? Let me see whether you're thinking. Both in 7th chapter and the 9th chapter, Bhagavan has explained, I am pure consciousness, Satchidananda Swarupam, what? Para Prakriti plus Apara Prakriti, Brahman plus Maya, Nimitta Karanam, Upadana Karanam, because of me the entire universe is manifesting. Everything he has told. That is what? Satchidananda Swarupam is Swarupa Lakshanam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Swarupa Lakshanam. Difficult to understand. So Arjuna is saying, now you completely narrate. Since you have manifested in this universe as different entities, you should narrate all your divine glories so that I can focus on them, and through that I will try and understand the cause. From the effect, I'll try to reach the cause. You should completely narrate. That means what? Asheshena. Underline the word. Asheshena means what? Without leaving anything. No shesham means what? Nothing to be left out. Completely. You should narrate your divine glories, and through these glories you are pervading the entire universe. So I want to know. Please narrate. You also should narrate the manifestation of your divine glories in the universe. And so why? Sloka number 17 is what? Justifying question of Sloka number 16. Write on all these notes because you will not know what is the order, why it's happening like this. Sloka 17. Arjuna Vacha Katham Vidyamaham Yogin Vam Sada Parichintayan Keshu Keshu Cha Bhaveshu Chintyosi Bhagavanmaya. So, how should we now start constantly thinking about you? That means what? Earlier, we were constantly focusing on what? Puja, Namajapam, Parayanam, all those things. Now, the next level, you say you are manifested the entire universe. How should we think about you? And from that, how can we know you? So, focusing on the effect and moving to the cause. And in what all objects are you to be meditated? Now, important. These objects that Bhagavan is going to point out are special objects. They got special characteristics, special powers, special qualities. So, what happens? As I told earlier, normal things do we focus? There is stone, mud, all this water. Will you focus on that? No. Only special things. Suppose there is one or diamond crown with diamond and all. That is very nice. So you will focus on something that is unique, special, powerful, famous. So Arjuna is saying, what all objects should you be meditated upon. How can I focus my mind on those special objects so that finally I can, the final goal is this only a means. Final goal is knowing Bhagavan. So once again he's reiterating sloka number 18, the final submission to Bhagavan. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuyah kathaya triptarhi shrunvato nasti me mritam. So when you explain this, it is very satisfying. It is like words of nectar. So you can keep on saying and keep on listening. So some people know, they'll say, keep on no saying something, I'll keep on listening. So Arjuna is saying, endlessly you explain all your greatness in terms of manifestations, about your power and manifestation. Atmanaha yogam. So your power and cha vibhutim. Can you underline these four words? Atmanaha yogam cha vibhutim. Atmanaha, your own what? Yogam. Yogam is power, I told you. Vibhutim is the manifestation. So explain your power and manifestation in detail, because whatever you say, it is not, I'm not going to be fully satisfied, and I'll be very happy listening to your nectar like words. Amritam Srinmataha. Amritam Vakyam. So add the word Vakyam. So it's not actually nectar, but nectarian, nectar like words. So Bhagavan is beginning his explanation of Supreme. Now understand. The ultimate truth is what? What is Bhagavan's manifestation? Ultimate truth of Bhagavan's manifestation. Bhagavan is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupam. Write down. That is the ultimate manifestation. The incidental manifestations are all the different entities with certain specific qualities, greatness, praiseworthy, no things. So Bhagavan now begins. What is the ultimate manifestation? Nirguna Brahman, Sat, Chit, and Anandam. So Bhagavan is going to begin with the highest manifestation, which is what? Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva. That principle, absolute existence, absolute consciousness that pervades the entire universe, subtler than the subtlest, sukshma the sukshmam. And then in between, so beginning is going to explain that, and also is going to reiterate that in between all these manifestations we mentioned. Are you understanding now how this manifestations are being explained? Write down sloka number 20. After this 19, we'll talk about Chit Swarupam. That is what? Pure consciousness. Sloka number 39, end of the explanation of all the Vibhutis, Sat Swarupam. So beginning with Chit, ending with Sat. So what is the general understanding? What is told in the beginning and the end is the most important. Beginning is what? Introduction, end is summary. Sat Chit is the highest manifestation, greatest manifestation of Supreme. Anandam is also to be added. Satchidananda Swarupam is the real nature. So Bhagavan begins. Sloka number 19. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Hantate Kathayishyami Divyahyatma Vibhutayaha Pradhanyatah Kuru Sreshtha Nastyanto Vistarasya Me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So yielding to Arjuna's request, Bhagavan says, now become aware. Churka beko means what? Become alert. Hanta, well, become alert. Hey Arjuna, I will explain the main key important divine glories. You ask for everything, it is infinite. We keep on talking all about my glories, then what will happen? There is no limit. Astina antaha, antaha nasti. There is no limit. What? May Vistarasya Vibhutim. Write down my manifestations in detail. So it's It cannot be explained. So I'm going to limit myself to the key manifestation, most important manifestations. And so I told you, as I told you in sloka number 20, very, very important. Write down the beginning. So sloka number 20 talks about Chit Swarupam. Sloka number 39 talks about end. What? Sat Swarupam. So how many slokas? Sloka 20 to 39. Simple. 20 slokas. Now all this you note down. Chapter 10, total number of slokas. Vibhuti, focused Vibhuti is 20 slokas. Beginning is sloka number 20. Chit Swarupam. Ending sloka number 39. Very good, Venkatraman. 39. Sat Swarupam. So Chit, Sat, Sat Chit, Sat Chit, and Ananda Swarupam is the true nature of Bhagavan. In between, all the drama, whatever you want for enjoy Madi. Because always focusing on what? Ashabdamas Parshamarupam Vyayam. Tatharasam Nityam Agandha. Sir, boring, sir. Huh? So some Vedantic truth you tell, then you give me something to enjoy. You'll come back and finally understand. So whatever the human mindset is, same way Bhagavan is following. So only enjoyment is problem. Only focusing on Vedanta is problem. So combination is given. So now look at sloka number 20. Very important. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ahamatma Gudhakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha Ahamadischa Madhyancha Bhutanam Anta Eva Cha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So contrary to what generally people know and also what 99% people do lecture on Bhagavad Gita, Vibhuti yogaha is not just the other manifestations of different entities. The key is sloka number 20 and 39. Are you getting? In between is for Madhyamadhikari to start focusing on the divinity everywhere. So Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, my manifestation, my ultimate manifestation, my real manifestation, my truthful manifestation is as the self, as the Atma Tattvam, residing in the heart of all beings. Sarva Bhuta Shayasthitaha. Sarva Bhuta Shayasthita means residing in the heart of all beings. Heart means what? Is Bhagavan present as a physical Lord Krishna Paramatma in the heart, like you open the heart. Ask a doctor, doctors who do heart surgery, no? What are they called? People who do heart surgery. So, have they found Krishna Paramatma, some God within that? No. Here, Vedanta Shastra, Hridi means Manaha. Please understand. Why Manas? Next question. The mind is the only entity that is reflecting consciousness. Yes or no? Think about it for a minute. The consciousness, which is the absolute truth. Chit Swarupam, where is it reflected? Is it reflected in the physical body or any entities? It is only in the mind. Even the feeling, Nakashikhantaram, from the toe to the what? The hair at the top, even when something you are feeling, that is consciousness, is happening where? The mind, yes or no? At least in this Vedanta class, think. We don't think about all these things. The mind is the greatest gift of Bhagavan. Please understand. Through this mind, one should endear to understand the ultimate truth. Instead of that, we are using this mind for what? All unnecessary pursuits. And so wasting our life. So once you waste this life, what Bhagavan does? Gives you another life. So that you move towards the ultimate truth. We waste that life also. Again another life. And this goes on and on and on. What should you focus on? The mind, now understand, the mind is functioning because of the presence of consciousness. Only place in the entire physical body which reflects the absolute conscious principle is the mind. No doubt the conscious principle is pervading, all pervading, present everywhere. Antar bahishcha tat sarvam. Yeah, Narayana Sthitaha. It is always present everywhere. But to manifest that consciousness, you need the mind. Consciousness doesn't depend on mind to exist. Mind is proving the existence of consciousness. So Bhagavan says, I am that self, the consciousness principle. Where does it reside? Now you should be able to answer. I explain such detail. Residing in the mind. Heart is the mind. What? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. So, one who understands this absolute truth present in Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. Sacred cavity of heart is being pointed out, but it's actually the mind. So, Soshnute Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipasthita iti. So, one who understands this. So, Bhagavan says, my ultimate manifestation, true manifestation is the consciousness principle, not different from the self, is present in the mind of all beings. So, you can ask me, sir, does the ant have a mind? Does an insect have a mind? Does God its own? Not like our developed no brain. Because of that, it's able to react, able to move. Does the ant not move systematically towards sugar? Does it move towards something that is salty or no? What chili powder? Will it move towards that? Think about it. Why is it moving towards sugar? Because it is thinking, correct? It's able to feel something, smell something, right? Anyway, so I am the self, Atma Tattvam. Write down Aham Atma. Most important, Aham Atma. Where am I? Sarva Bhuta Shayasthitaha, residing in the what? Mind of all beings. And that is the first opening statement. So that is the most important manifestation, glory, Vibhuti of Bhagavan. And what? That explains the what? Your consciousness principle. Then that is what? Para Prakriti. What is Apara Prakriti? Creation, sustenance, dissolution. So Aham Adihi, Aham Madhyam, Aham Antaha. I am the beginning, middle, and end. So does consciousness have beginning, middle, and end? Big question. So let's see if you're thinking. Consciousness cannot have something called as beginning, middle, and why? Because it is ever present, anadi, ever existent, never was created, anantam, no end. So there is no beginning, no end, and so no middle for pure consciousness. So two aspects are there in the sloka. One is Aham Atma, the pure consciousness, which is Anadi Anantam. We should think a lot. Advanced students should understand this Bhuta Yoga better than the beginners. So in this sloka number 20, both aspects are mentioned. The Brahma Tattvam and the Maya Tattvam. That is the matter principle, pure consciousness and matter. And both are attributed to Bhagavan. Please understand. So first aspect, what is the pure consciousness aspect? Anybody? Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shayasthitaha is pure consciousness principle. Ahamadischa Madhyancha Bhutanam Antayevacha. I am the beginning, the middle, and end of all entities. Corresponds to what? Consciousness matter. Matter principle. Good. Relative reality. So, Brahma Tattvam and Maya Tattvam. And so, now understand clearly when Bhagavan says, I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end of all beings. Bhutanam. Underline that also. That means what? What I told you earlier. Janmadhyasya yataha Brahmasutra. From that principle, the universe has risen. Tadanyatvam arambhana shabda dibhyaha. The creation that is explained in the Upanishads is not to talk about the process of creation, but to explain that the created is non-different from the creator. So Bhagavan, I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings, all beings. So when Bhagavan is the beginning, middle, and end of all beings, does it really need special mention of different vibhutis, different manifestations, different glories? Actually, it's not required. If you get to understand finally this knowledge, the Supreme Atman Brahman, there are various other manifestations already included. But since the mind is not what? Pure enough, focused enough, not got the knowledge of ultimate Atma Tattvam, Bhagavan has to begin explaining some of the different entities as my manifestations, as my glories. Clear? Suppose somebody asks, who are you? Hey, I am me. Can't you see? I am so and so. If you say, I'm a great painter, look at my painting, I'm a great writer, I'm a great mathematician, I'm a great engineer, then your aspect is being focused on aspect and say, oh, you are that person. Are you getting the point? Everything is you. Similarly, Bhagavan is actually all pervading and the real principle behind creation, sustenance, solution, the beginning will end of all entities. But then Bhagavan says, anyway, since that is more difficult to comprehend, I will explain my manifestations, the key manifestations going forward. So we'll stop here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Couple of announcements. By excellent dedicated efforts of our team, the PVA books for 3 chapters are available together. Hope you have seen the message. Chapters what? 11, 12, and 13. So download them, study systematically. Let me tell you, there is no greater sadhana than systematic study Vedanta Shastras through Padavibhaga, Anmaya, proper meaning, reiteration, summary, looking at the clear illustrations and understanding this, because that you are able to do very easily sitting at your place. Are you traveling anywhere? Are you going behind some person, some big congregation, getting into all trouble? Aram se sitting at home and study this. So download these ebooks, very valuable. No other sadhana is even equal. Forget about being greater. Not even 1% of the systematic study Vedanta Shastras enabled wonderfully through these ebooks, PVA ebooks, and the what? Summary ebooks. Download them, study them. Now, after studying Bhagavad Gita, study the Upanishads. Similarly, hopefully, we'll do all these things for all the Upanishads. And this life has to be made fruitful. Jivana sarthakyam is only by jnanam, getting moksham. So download all this and study systematically. Greatest sadhana you can do. Nothing comes anywhere near. Everything is only katha kalakshepam, bhajana kalakshepam, only wastage of time. Focus on Vedanta Shastras. We'll continue on Saturday morning. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna 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 Shubhamastu. समस्त सन्मंगलानि भूत्यंत हरि ओम नारायण नारायण.